So example 3, again, has no parentheses. So guys, again, if you guys can set your computer aside, it doesn't be distracting to you. If it's not be distracted, it's fine. Just let's make sure we're focused on notes now for a few minutes. I know it's hard to change gears, but. So example 3 doesn't have any parentheses. So we're gonna not worry about parentheses, but we have like terms we can combine. So what do we want to put together? The 13x and then the negative 4x. Girls, if you can't handle being over there, we're not stop separate yet. What? Okay, well, we can worry about that. I'd like you to take notes. So why don't you just plug yours in for now and we'll worry about that later. So 13x minus 4x is going to give me 9x, right? So the 4 is negative. And then we're left with it, just this positive 2. And then that should equal 38. So then to get our x alone, we have to move that 2 away. And 38 minus 2 is 36. And again, I know you guys don't all love showing steps, but showing a little bit of this work in between really helps you to not lose track of where you're at. So then to get our x alone, it's being multiplied by 9. So instead, we're going to divide by 9. Great. Let's do one more, and then we'll try to jump back into the Kahoot. In number 4, what's being distributed? It's being distributed in number 4. The negative 1. Remember that it's like a negative 1 there. That's what's being distributed. That sign in front of that parenthesis. So really all it does is changes the signs of what's inside of here. Multiplying by a negative 1 just makes it the opposite sign. So minus 2m and then plus 1. So this one has some more steps. Careful here. So 4m minus 2m is going to be 2m, right? And then the plus 1. And then now at this point, we're ready to subtract. And some of you guys are like, uh-oh, something's going wrong. I'm not getting a nice whole number as my answer. That's okay. Not all the answers will be nice whole number answers. Don't think you're wrong just because we're getting a fraction here or a decimal. Divide by 2. Well, 7's not divisible by 2, but it's still the answer. So you can write 7 over 2 or 3.5. Either one is fine with me. Okay? Questions there? All right, we'll try it again. I know some of you guys are already in, so we'll try to get back into that same Kahoot again. Now, if that doesn't work, we might back out. And if you need to, you could always use the desk in front of Miss Miller there. If you want to try to go back into this one, has anyone tried it again that didn't get in before? Give me a heads up, let me know. Are you still getting an error?
Well, my computer's restarting on the other.
Okay, it's okay. We'll get it. You're still getting an error? All right, so what Trista said was, Trista, you just like search up Kahoot.
Without the dot in.
Okay, but I'm going to completely, again, back out of this. I'm going to see if, because we, okay. So she was suggesting that you guys go to Kahoot, just like the website.
Just search up Kahoot and like, yeah, like that. And then do the play Kahoot just like under that.
Oh, down here.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys want to try going through that way, I mean, I don't know. It just might be also that hers just worked and yours didn't. So we'll kind of see. I need to go in a little bit different way. Try it again. So if you've already been like in 3 times, try it again. All right, 3rd time's a charm, right? It's gonna work. Anyone? Oh, it turned on. Well,
I'm not sure it's gonna turn off now.
does it like look like it's charging?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
It's
Slow.
maybe the
I don't think he did that intentionally. Some of them are probably not the best. All right, are we okay? You think we fixed it? Oh, yeah. I would hope not. And you can always plug it in when you're done, too, just so you can have a charge for it.
What is going on?
What's it doing to you?
It's being stupid.
Tori, did you go in with the new pin?
Yeah.
Tori, are you in? I don't see you up there. You don't have to worry about her. Get in, please. No. Getting there? Okay, are we good? I think we got everybody. She's clearly there. All right. And if you need to move, if you can't quite see the screen, go ahead and do that. What's up? Yeah, yeah, just move up, or if you need to, or like adjust. Hopefully, you have enough time. Good work, you guys. And I mean, don't worry about the speed. Obviously, getting it right is more important than getting it fast, but there should be enough time. Yeah, feel free to adjust, stand up, move if you need to, if you can't see all the questions or all the answers. Yeah. I know, I'm very fast. And I need to say it's not a big thing. All right, the next, like I think every 2 questions is not a math question. I think all of my questions this month or this time are all about like things that are happening this month or today even. So things like kind of things you might know. I only have 1 sports question. The rest are not sports questions. Well, or Jeopardy, you know, whatever.
It is.
You don't?
Oh, I got it right.
It's the Super Bowl.
I guess. I picked it last second.
Sorry, Clayton. Come back. Can you click on it if you're not working on it? Just waste our time, please. All right, some big numbers there. You might need a calculator. Oh, I'm sad. That's no fun. It's worse when it's on your phone, but you just poked it and
Yeah, it's on like this and then.
that's the only one you get wrong. Well, just notice the 18 is negative. So. Yes, that helps a little bit. All right, so you have to move the 30 over. When you move the 30 over, you subtract it, which makes this a negative 180 over here. And then you're dividing by a negative 18, which gets you a positive 10. All right, another non-math question here. So leap day, how often does that happen? You can always stand up too, Chris, if you need to. Yeah, so it's every 4th year. So like, I don't. This is the only student I know that has it. Like Trey Kilburn, that's his birthday. So he only really has technically a birthday every 4th year. So like last year he had a birthday, so he was only like, I don't know, 4 years old or something. So kind of crazy. This time there's 28 days instead. So that should be a 1/3 F. Oh yeah, it shows it better there. Fractions. 8 over. So I end up with 1/3 x. -9 plus 8 is a -1. So then at that point, I have to multiply by the reciprocal or just by 3. Because then those 3's get to cancel, so I have -1 times 3 gives me a -3 as my answer. What? I was going to pressure that on my nerves when you were saying. You have to move the 5 over those and just subtract it. Sorry guys, only about a little over 10 seconds. You might have to make a good guess. You're stuck. Alright, let's talk about it. Alright. So we have to move this 5 over. So we move the 5 over, so I get 2/3 W equals a -6. Now you can do this a couple of ways. I think Justine had mentioned yesterday, she kind of do it in 2 steps. So she like multiplied by 3 and then divided by 2. So that's how we got a -9. Or you could use the reciprocal. You could use your calculator. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to take your calculator away. You're definitely able to use that. You can divide by 2/3. You can multiply by the reciprocal. So that'd be 3/2. Keep change flip. So however you get there. Definitely a tougher one there.
No.
Just weren't speedy enough. You got it right though, right?
Yeah.
So it's a special day today. Oh, I smelled skunk wrong. It's a skunk. No, a skunk. He's a little lesser known than the skunk. A skunk. Do you click warthog quickly to see the hog? Okay, solve for M here. No, it's actually today. Grab one healthy. Really? February 2nd. February 2nd.
Yeah, I did.
I can't believe you wrote it.
No.
Like, I think about this thing.
Yeah. I'm really taking it back when I look at like old pictures, you know, my memories on like Facebook or whatever, and like everyone was all touching it in place in restaurants. I'm like, that looks really like awkward. I'm like, I feel like I did last year. Right. No, I did it just like
Now I know something about it.
Nothing. You're still on the leaderboard. Okay, so we have to move this 5 over. And you do the opposite to move it over, so we get a -5 here. Then I have to divide by a -5. A negative divided by a negative is a positive 1.
I just saw 2 5s and a 10 and they're all negative.
Yeah.
That's all I saw. I didn't even care what the variable was. That was.
Yeah, because negative 5 minus 5 is negative 10, so we don't really want to change it at all. So, all right. That's impressive. I like have a hard time not reading things. I'm so visual. Like I can't spell words in my head. I have to write it. I just see everything. I can't do much. Okay. So yep, we had to move that 9 over and then multiply by 2. Pretty good. Okay, the last one's kind of a tricky riddle. So I'm gonna.
Oh, I like riddles.
Okay.
Oh shoot. I'm just guessing.
My thing is so slow.
What?
I'm very good. I'm incredibly good. I'm so incredibly
Why is it all of them?
Because every single month has 28 days.
If all the months have 28 days, some have more than 28 days. One of them, it doesn't say exactly 28 days. So like January had more than 28 days, but it has 28 days. Sorry. Your place still is legal, you don't worry. Yeah, yes, there's a participation trophy. Yes. Alright, let's see. Oh, so Brecken, you got a perfect, but you must have just been.
Because I was wrong as fast as 15.
Question.
Because I wasn't as fast as 15, that's why.
Trista and Griff. So top 5 can come up and grab a treat first. And then yes, I will be our participation trophy. You guys can grab us there.
You what? I think algebra talking on my teacher. I think I was looking at my phone and I think he hit my screen. And that's only what I got.
Was that really the only camera? Grab from the winner's bucket.
Can you ever read it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got one.
Finish this off. Alright. Participation trophy. Come on up. Yeah.
This is the first one.
Like hide your liquor bottles. No, my kids want to buy this to my kids for New Year's, but they don't really, you know.
Oh my god.
You know, Mr. Donahue and candy, so. Shame the children into not eating candy. All right, so head back to your regular seats. We'll finish up our notes. Everyone's welcome to come grab a sucker if you think you want.
Nah, I'm not a sucker.
All right, so let's finish up these last few questions. So I just wanted to review, because we've actually kind of done one like number 5 before. Oops, not that. Okay, so we've kind of done one like number 5 before. What do I need to do first in number 5? Yeah, go ahead.
Divided 2w and then 8 by 6.
You could do that. So you could divide them both by 6, like distribute that 6. However, then you have like 2 fractions or 2 decimals. So you could do that. Is there another option to not have to deal with fractions or decimals in this case? Does anyone have another idea? Yeah.
Multiply both sides by 6.
Yeah, let's get rid of that 6. So rather than dividing by 6, let's instead multiply by 6. Now what you said will work. I'm not saying that doesn't work, but most of us prefer to not have fractions and decimals. So let's multiply each side by 6. It gets rid of that 6 on the fraction. We're left with a negative 66 on the left side. And so this is a lot nicer than I think working with like a bunch of fractions or decimals, especially one with a 6, because that's a lot of times it's a repeating decimal in a fraction. So we can move that, we want to get the w alone, so we can move this 8 over. So this is going to be a negative, is that 58? And then to get our w alone, we can just divide by 2. Now, if you use Clayton's method, that works. Like, I'm not saying that that wouldn't work. It's just probably a little more user-friendly here to get it this way. Now, I know this sounds picky, but technically, let's write it with the w first. Just kind of getting the habit of doing that. So a negative 29, right? So end up with. And so that's not the only way to get that answer, but that's, I think, the most like helpful or user-friendly, streamlined way to get there. All right, example 6. What do you guys think? I would distribute first in this one. The reason I would maybe distribute first in this one, it's a little bit like a chess match, thinking about a few steps ahead. Why is distributing a half not so bad in this case? Yeah, Clayton?
Because you're just dividing it by 2.
Yeah, so it works more nicely than over here. So kind of thinking ahead a little bit, saying like, ooh, dividing by 6, that's kind of bad. But multiplying by a half isn't bad at all. Half of 4 and half of 8 is not a bad number. It's not tough to work with. So half of 4a is 2a. Half of 8 is a negative 4. All right, so we distributed. We have some like terms that can go together. So we have 2a and a negative 5a. What do we get? Negative 3a. And then we have negative 4 and negative 2. So negative 6. So lots of negatives here. Careful on those. I want to move that 6 back over. So again, this might be one you're starting to second guess yourself. You're like, oh, I must have done something wrong because my answer is like a decimal or a fraction. That's okay. That doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means sometimes answers don't come out to be nice whole numbers. So we divide each side by 3.
Negative 3.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So like 1 that negative.
Yes, thank you. I saw you squinting. I was like, what are you squinting at? Like, what's your deal over there? So negative 16 over 3, which is like a negative 5.3, repeating. Yeah, so not a great decimal, but we can call it either way. All right. This next problem is kind of trying to put together some of these multi-step equations with kind of a real-life scenario, or a real-life situation here. So, Angela ate at the same restaurant 4 times. You're going to find out Angela is a very exciting lady here. Each time she ordered a salad and left a $5 tip. She spent a total of $54. Write and solve an equation to find out the cost of each salad. So, she goes to the same restaurant, orders the same thing, leaves the same amount of tip. Very exciting. So, what a wild life. Okay. So, we need to set up the equation though that's with this. You did it? You think you got it? So what did you do?
So I put parentheses around the variable, juice. And then I just put it as an X. And then I did plus 5.
Okay, so let's stop for a second. So why did he write x plus 5? I just wanted you guys to understand where that came from. What's the salad plus the tip? So each time she's buying a salad, and we know she's leaving a $5 tip. Why did he put it in parentheses? What's he doing?
Multiplied by 4.
You're gonna-
She went to this restaurant 4 times.
Yeah, so she went to the restaurant 4 times, so that happens 4 times. So the name kind of gives it away, 4 times that, those parentheses. And then she spent a total of $54. Total means equals. So this is a great way to set this up. Now what do you guys want to do next? Distribute. So you could have also set up the equation that just looked like this right away. You might have said, well, I can tell already she spent $20 in a tip already. That's, we know that off the bat. So we get 4x equals 34. So divide by 4. And we find out x is like 7 or 8.5. 8.5. Does that answer make sense for this problem? 8.5 what? Dollars. So it's okay that it's a decimal. Does it make some sort of sense? Seems it's a salad. So like, I mean, you're like, maybe that sounds like an expensive salad. Maybe it's a very fancy one.
Probably like this big.
Right. Yeah, like the ones that like when you order a salad and they show up and it's like this mountain of lettuce, you're like, oh, what did I just order? But had it been like $85, I hope you'd be like, huh, something seems funny here. Like that doesn't sound like a good price for a salad. So making sure your answer makes some sort of, or 85 cents, I hope you'd be like, huh, that sounds like not good. So dollar menu at McDonald's, yeah. And salad's never cheap. Anything healthy is never cheap. So if it's healthy, it's got to be more money. So any questions there? You're okay? All right, good work today, guys. Thanks for being patient with me. Homework is listed here. It should also be online.